Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Every time I start talking about boxing, a white man got full rockin' my gun out there.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Oh, this hard goddamn work being this good.
One more again, see what I take on your front set, I swear.
You ain't my daddy, are you?
There's gonna be consequences and repercussions.
What time is it?
Game time,
Okay, welcome everybody to the Don't Be Blasé podcast. I'm your host, Spear Caruana, joined as always by my friend Steve Burrows.
What up? What up? Okay, I screwed that up.
You really bottled that one, Steve. We had like a little intro organised. We were going to make a few jokes, a bit of a gag, and Steve has absolutely screwed the pooch straight out of the game. Mate, we are coming to you live from the House of Pain, otherwise known as Snap Fitness in the Adelaide CBD. First of all, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Larry and Lad. Go see the boys at Region Arcade. Get yourself a sweet coffee and listen to some awesome tunes. But for now, we're going to get on with the show after that terrible introduction by Steve. You are now no longer in charge of doing comedy sketches to start our program. You suck. All right. Today's topic is an argument that Steve and myself and basketball fans worldwide have had for the last few years now. It's become a very popular topic. It's who's better, LeBron James, King James, or Michael Jordan?
His airness.
He's all right. Calm down. Doesn't need a fancy title. Just
Oh, sorry, the king gets a title.
the king's the king. That's why he's the king. He gets a title. We're not going to go through who's the greatest of all time because it's hard to compare eras. It's hard to compare, players from everything. Well, we're just going to go with who would you start a team with? Who's going to be your number one pick?
It's actually not that hard. It's Jordan, just quietly.
Steve,
sorry.
We're 2 minutes in, and you've fucked the show twice. You're on strike two. You're on very thin ice. This is supposed to be a bit of back and forth, and you're trying to shut the whole program down. We have 8 listeners, and they want to hear a debate. So I'll let you have another crack at that. Present your case for Michael Jeffrey Jordan to be the number one pick.
I don't even know what to say. That was awesome. I reckon we do notch this one up for you already. I've lost my train of thought. Let's have a think about this. Jordan, why is number one? Why isn't he number one? The guy is pop culture. He's larger than... Remember how you talked about The Rock being larger than wrestling?
Yep.
He is the Michael Jordan of wrestling.
Okay.
As simple as that. So I'm not even going to get caught up with stats, facts, 6 rings, but I'm just going to say that he is. Every sport you hear today, there's a Michael Jordan of something.
Yes.
Okay, so there's even, you probably could say in the hip hop game, Jay-Z is the Michael Jordan of hip hop.
You mean overrated?
5 league MVPs. And so basically, Jordan, look, the guy he's an icon. My mum knows who Michael Jordan is. Okay.
She's the same.
She is the same. Your mum probably knows who Michael Jordan is. I think everyone's mum knows who Michael Jordan is. No, LeBron James, what is he, like an old-looking, hair receding,
come on,
man. Probably...
Go on the hairline.
Yeah, PED abusing... who said that?
Just coming from Captain Gambling, but continue.
Just to confirm, that's Michael Jordan's Captain Gambling, not me. I think that's what you're referring to.
Yeah, the TAB ticket just fine. He's fucking, mate.
I bet on myself to win this argument, so not doing too well at the moment. So look, Jordan, I don't know what else to say. I don't want to get into stats. 6 finals MVPs. But yeah, tell me why he's not the greatest.
Well, it's not about to tell you why he's not the greatest, other than the fact that he's a terrible teammate, punches his teammates in the face. I'm just going to break down the greatness of LeBron James. Now, the reason why LeBron, I'll give you the credit that Michael Jordan is the one that is the gold standard. Everyone gets compared to, other sports, it's the Michael Jordan of such and such. It's, and it was, when LeBron was coming up through high school, he was the next Jordan. He was
what, the 10th next Jordan by that point in time?
Yeah, there was a few scrubs in between there. Who was going to be the other?
Well, there was Jerry Stackhouse, Grant Hill.
Harold Miner.
I
actually got the nickname Baby Jordan. You don't know who Harold Miner is, and there's a reason for that. He was terrible. He was just a bald guy that could dunk. He won 2 dunk contests, and apparently that was going to make him Michael Jordan, but the lack of talent really derailed his career there. But the thing is, LeBron's turned himself into his own man. That's what I enjoy. That I said the next Jordan thing isn't really brought up with LeBron anymore. Like, people will attack Kobe Bryant. You personally have attacked Kobe Bryant for his imitation of Michael Jordan. And he did great imitation. He's probably the closest thing we've ever seen to... It's sort of like, I listen to a lot of comedy. I like Jay Moore as a comedian. Now, he's not a great comedian in his own right, but he does a really awesome Christopher Walken impersonation. Now, if you had to just listen to Christopher Walken, yeah, he's pretty cool. But when you listen to Jay Moore, Christopher Walken, it's awesome. I enjoy that. Same way that I don't enjoy Michael Jordan, but I like watching Kobe.
Wow, yeah.
I've tied that in together there.
Yeah, good logic.
Yeah, it's great logic. But the thing is, see, it goes back to who's our favourite players of all time.
Sure.
Yours is obviously Michael Jordan. Mine was always Magic Johnson. So to me, I love LeBron because he is the closest thing to Magic Johnson that I've seen personally. And he also ties in some of the attributes that you love about Michael Jordan. You know, he's made himself a transcendent star. You know what I mean? Like, he's done movies too. I mean, nothing is obviously as good as the cinematic masterpiece known as Space Jam. I mean, he's never had to retire 3 times during his prime because he can't handle the pressure of being the star of the league. He's never had a gambling problem. And universally, teammates seem to love him, with the exception of possibly Kyrie Irving, who's recently left town. But see, LeBron he's made himself. You know, he didn't have to go through. He didn't go through college. You know, he came straight out into the pros.
He didn't go to college.
He didn't go to college. So like he's had, and he grew up without a father at all. He's turned himself into. He is self-made, and that's why I've always got a lot of respect for LeBron. Not even like, so we can go through stats. We can say, you know, LeBron is, I think, the only player that's going to be in the top 10 in nearly every statistical category ever. You know what I mean? Like, he just dominates the game. But it's the man that I'm more drawn to. The fact that he's got the higher character for me. He's not a scumbag, basically. No. I'm calling Michael Jordan a scumbag.
Oh, okay. So you're basing that you'd pick your team because he's a good guy. So
good guy, great player.
Good guy, great player. All right. But, everyone thought Bill Cosby was a good guy as well at one point, you know.
I have the whole box set of the Cosby Show on DVD, and I can't watch it anymore. It kills me.
Yeah, so probably 5 years ago, Dr. Huxtable was going to be in your starting point guard.
Yeah, he was. Heathcliff Combustible.
So, yeah, look, good guy or not. I think Jordan... The reason why Jordan gets a bit of a hard time in respect to being a good guy is because he was just so competitive.
He was. To get to that level, to be considered the greatest, you have to have a bit of arsehole about you. No one's ever become the best at anything ever without having a bit of dick about him.
Well, exactly. I mean, Phil Jackson, before LeBron came along, or before LeBron was, the guy, the question was, Jordan versus Kobe. And people would make comparisons about him. And Phil Jackson, being coach of both of them, had said at one point, he goes, look, the difference between Jordan and Kobe is as competitive as Jordan is on court. He goes, but at the end of the game, Kobe becomes Kobe. He goes home and does Kobe stuff. He says, Jordan, he wants to race you home. And then he wants to go home and beat you in ping pong. Yeah. And he's the guy who will challenge you in everything. And that's what I can appreciate. I'm very competitive.
No, Steve, no.
True story. I'm very competitive, and to a point where probably my teammates in most of my sports don't like playing with me either. Well, but the wins speak for themselves.
Well, we did have an undefeated season in the SEMA All-Stars. I was a teammate of Steve's briefly. Admittedly, I was the worst player of the team, but I did look good in a basketball jersey, and I think that's half the win there.
I think that's what LeBron does. I think he's doing the weights. He loves getting his guns out.
Yeah, well, see, to get back onto the teammate thing, this is the reason why like Jordan would drive everyone crazy, and there's only one guy that's been able to stay with Jordan the entire run, and that's Scottie Pippen. He was the only guy that could ever sort of put the ego aside. It's because he always had, and this is going to be a great pun, he always had the wood over Jordan. Oh. So I'm going to let you on a little story here. Steve's too busy laughing off mic. There's a great story that was brought up by Dennis Rodman in reference to the compatibility between Jordan and Pippen. See, now, Michael Jordan, like you said, very competitive, wanted to win everything, including, just win in any situation possible, like playing cards, picking up women, gambling, had a great gambling, run, loves gambling, didn't leave the sport for 18 months for no reason. It was because of gambling.
Allegedly.
I digress. But the great story is about Madonna. Now, Madonna was around the Bulls at the time because they were the hot team. You know, she liked to hang around the celebrities. Quite good friends with Dennis Rodman.
Yes.
And there's a rumor that one night Michael Jordan wanted to take home Madonna, and she didn't want to go home with Michael. No, she wanted to go home with Scotty. Why did she want to go home with Scotty? Because apparently Scotty's down to his freaking kneecaps. And that's one thing that Michael could never beat Scotty at. So when it came down to the competitiveness on the court, off the court, whatever, Scotty always had the wood on Michael Jordan, and that kind of drove him crazy. But it allowed them to be teammates because at the end of the day, Scotty always knew that no matter what, he could beat Michael at one thing, and he knew that would drive Mike crazy.
That's a great story. Thank you. Actually, I did want to mention something because I think you did mention the word team. You know, how everyone likes playing with LeBron James.
Yes.
Because he's such a great team player. Actually, I disagree with that. I actually think that LeBron James is a terrible team player.
Okay. Terrible team player.
Well, you see, I think...
So he didn't lead his team in assists last year?
Okay, but so did Russell Westbrook.
Oh, but he didn't really play with anyone.
And so did James Harden.
Yeah.
Look, I think that's what I was referring to. Stats are very contextual, but I'm gonna try to use an analogy and tell me if I'm way off here.
Yep.
So I'm gonna try to do an animal analogy. Just call me up at any point if it sounds ridiculous.
Shoot your shot.
Okay. So I'd compare Michael Jordan to a...
That sounds ridiculous. Continue, Steve. Continue.
I would say Jordan's like a lioness.
Okay.
Fierce. Like he's a hunter. He can take down prey much larger than him, like a buffalo, aka Patrick Ewing, or an elephant, as in Shaquille O'Neal. What he does though, he takes his cubs, his Scottie Pippens, John Paxsons, Horace Grants. He says, "Come suckle at my teats, boys. Come suckle at my teats. When it's time, it is time for you to go out hunting." And over time, they together as a team go out and they hunt and they take down their own buffalo.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, LeBron James, also a bird of prey. Whatever the birds are in Cleveland, I'm not sure what they are out there, but they're birds, and he has a nest. And he's got little birdies down there. One's called what's that dude's name?
Booby.
Booby, that's a guy.
Booby Gibson.
Who else has he got? What else is there?
Had Anders Varejao.
Boo.
We talking about his first run?
Boogie, yeah, Cleveland.
Larry Hughes.
Yeah, so all these little birdies down there. He goes, hey, they go, "Can we get some worms, Dad?" He's like, no, I'll get you the worms, kids. So he goes out, gets the worms, and he keeps feeding them and you know what? They get fat and they enjoy a lot of success. They enjoy it. And then he goes, "You know what, guys? We're going to fly south now because it's winter and it's warmer down south." And they go, Dad, can we come flying with you?" And he goes, "But you can't fly." And they go, but Dad, where are you going?" He goes, "I'm flying to Miami." And they go, and they just sit in their nest in Cleveland, probably starving to death. They do. They get 17 wins next season.
Yeah.
What kind of teammate is that? Tell me, what kind of teammate can feed the... Yeah, it's all on his terms, Speed. Yeah. That's a problem. He doesn't make actually anyone better. He makes them reliant on him to a point where, you know, if it's either him or it's nothing. Whereas Jordan, he was able to retire a couple times.
Yes.
And the team...
Three times.
Yeah, 3 times. But in particular, the first time he was able to leave, and they had major success without him because he actually brought them up. They were winners because of, you know, his, I guess, guidance over the several years it took to get them there. And then when he leaves, they can still actually make the kill on their own. Unlike the little birdies, little boogie. Not get the wormy? Can't get the wormy? No, they starve.
Okay, that's
Wasn't that a good analogy?
That's a great analogy.
Okay.
And this is the last of the boogie slander. Booby slander. We enjoy Booby Gibson on this show. But, you know, you make a good point, but then I can also counter that with maybe Jordan's not that good. Because he can't win it. They always say that Jordan didn't have team. Oh, he only had Pippen and he didn't have 2 All-Stars. That's BS, okay? He had great teams around him and he had a great coach. You know, and you're not going to take away what Phil Jackson's done. Now, Phil Jackson, as the general manager of the Knicks, Terrible. Absolutely terrible. But when it came to coaching, he was second to none. And he was the great... Now, tell me, in your great basketball knowledge, what coaches has LeBron had?
Who did he have? He had Spontan... What's his name?
Yeah.
Sponsor? Spolstra? Spolstra.
Yeah, household names going there.
Spolstra. He had Mike Brown.
Yeah.
Who went and he coached a few teams, Knicks and Lakers, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Who else did he have? But that's the thing. LeBron's a terrible... Imagine being the coach of LeBron James.
That's what I'm saying. Imagine trying to get like a coach. Like you said, Phil Jackson was that good a coach. He could mold Michael Jordan. Like Doug Collins couldn't mold Michael Jordan. He couldn't turn this selfish prick into a great team player. He had to try to steer this guy that was just like, no, I'm going to score 30 a game and I'm going to punch my teammates and I'm going to gamble on the game into a team player. It took someone with the mind like Phil to turn him, because Michael Jordan, without Scotty, without Phil, never really won anything.
But he had okay. Let's go a bit of a history lesson here.
Yeah.
Okay. So when Jordan came into the league, it was 84, I think 85.
Yep.
They came second to last the year before.
Mm-hmm.
So first year they made playoffs.
Yep.
Okay. They get bounced by.
Sorry. Just to clarify, they made the playoffs with a losing record.
They made the playoffs.
I know facts don't matter, but they did make the playoffs with a losing record.
They made the playoffs with and I think they got beat by Milwaukee. Powerhouse, they were Milwaukee that year.
They were a good team.
The next year, he gets injured. He plays only half a dozen games, give or take. And he plays half a dozen. And they still somehow make the playoffs.
With a losing record.
Then he dropped 63 on Larry.
Yep.
This is before Pippen came along.
Yep.
I think Pippen come maybe the next year or the next year after.
Just quickly, did they win that one?
No, they went down. But the Boston actually won the whole series that year. So they actually I'm pretty sure they beat Lakers in the finals.
Okay, so continue.
So if Lakers can lose...
If they lose to the eventual champions, that's fine then?
Yes.
Okay.
You can take that, especially in your second year.
Yep.
In your second year. And then I think third year, same thing. I think they come up against Boston. He wins MVP that year for the first time in his third year in the league. Wins MVP. Or no, he scores 37 a game. It doesn't matter. Look, I'm not going to get bogged down.
Facts don't matter.
Yeah. He scored 52 a game that season. Facts don't matter. And then that's when Scotty and them came on. Scotty and Horace. And those guys were bums.
Bums?
They were bums.
Okay.
So it took a long time for those guys to get going. He took these bums. Bill Cartwright was he like...
He was traded for.
Yeah, that's right. He came to that team.
They traded away Michael Jordan's best friend to get Bill Cartwright.
Charles
Oakley.
That's right.
The strongest man in the history of the NBA.
Yeah, they traded him off, and because I think they needed to clear some cap space or something.
I don't think they worried too much about cap space back in the day. But
you keep telling me facts don't matter.
You're grasping at straws here with your Michael Jordan playing with bums argument. I'm waiting for you to finish, because my point is he has never won anything without great teammates, even in college.
Even in college, he hit
He hit the game-winning shot. But how many games did he win the season after when Sam Perkins and James Worthy left town?
Did you know that?
How many games did he win afterwards?
He won College Player of the Year.
Yeah.
And
so far you've pointed out several individual titles that Michael Jordan has won.
Yes.
How many great teammate titles has he won? Ask Steve Kerr, who got punched in the face by Michael Jordan. He doesn't win with his team. Like, he has to have a good team around him, and he can be the focal point. He can be the star, but he doesn't make anyone better. They're already good, and they tolerate having him around.
These guys, okay, I'll go back to the bum comment. These guys were coming off the bench until Jordan took them under his wing, or his lioness teat, and they went out hunting. And look, it takes a little while. I'm not sure if you know this, but the NBA is a tough competition.
It is a tough competition.
So it takes a little while to get going. And once what was it, third year Scotty was in, I think third year they won the title. Third year title, I think fourth year maybe, I don't know. Irrelevant.
Facts don't matter.
They're irrelevant, but they won 3 in a row. Once he got Scotty up to par, and let's face it, Scotty wasn't great. I think he wasn't great by the definition of great. On his own, Scotty was a very good player, but there's a difference between very good and great.
Okay, I will give you that. He's never been a number one. Like, there's alphas. There's alphas on teams. It needs to be an outright number one, and he was never an outright number one, but he was... You could almost give him credit for being the greatest number 2 of all time.
That's right, because that's the thing. You can be the best number 2 when you've got the best number 1 next to you. That makes you. It's like any sport. bad players can get carried through if you've got great players around you.
Yeah.
It's only when, I think you mentioned it before in your other podcast, you said Embley. Was it Embley?
Andrew Embley, yeah.
He was, I think he wanted Norm Smith, but
Yeah.
that's only because he was playing with great players around him. As soon as they left,
he was exposed. But the thing is, see, that Andrew Embley argument isn't great when you realise that, like Andrew Embley got found out as soon as Judd and Cousins left West Coast. As soon as MJ left the Bulls, they still won 55, 56 games without him. So they weren't exactly Andrew Embley type players. They were still great players in their own right.
they were very good player, and they were a very good team because Jordan left them as a very good team. See, when LeBron left Cleveland, he left a terrible team because he didn't make anyone better.
There was actually no one good on that team to start with. Like I said, you were struggling to grab Boobie Gibson as the only player. Like I said, he had no one. He had no support from his ownership. He had no coach that was worth his salt. You couldn't even remember who the coach was that got him to the finals. Yet we all know Phil is synonymous with Michael, and so Scotty. There's no one synonymous with LeBron, especially in that first run in Cleveland. It was all him doing it. I mean,
and how many did they win?
They got to a finals. Now, to run back to your argument before, you said it was okay that Jordan lost to Boston because they were the eventual champions.
That's right.
Now, if you lose in the finals, Steve, are you not losing to the eventual champions?
That's right. You know what? I don't.
Steve, answer the question.
Yeah, that's right. But
Thank you.
I think it is a great effort. I'm just... Actually, you've just totally thrown me now. I don't know where I'm going now. Continue.
So he left and he had to join good teammates. So this is the thing. This is why I say, like I said, you question whether people want to play with LeBron. Now, they obviously do because he then went down, took his talents to South Beach. Now, that was the only thing that I would say he did wrong in his career because it did turn the way people felt about LeBron. He was supposed to be the next big thing, and everyone wants that player that does the one club their whole life. But the world's changed, Steve. Mobility is a big thing. It used to be that you grew up in your town, you worked in your town, and then you retired in your town. Travel's easy these days. You can pick up, relocate, you can work online. The beautiful thing called the internet, Stephen, that we're recording this on. This is not on the wireless. This is broadcast through the internet, which means we can get people to listen from all over the world that would never normally hear me and you talk shit about sports. Okay, that used to be confined to our little town.
And the dudes at the pub going, "What the hell are they talking about?"
They've been arguing about the same shit for the last half an hour. So the thing, mobility is a big thing. So like I said, he wasn't getting looked after in Cleveland. He wasn't being, given a good coach. He wasn't given good players to play with. So he went up and left. Now, he did join, possibly the second best shooting guard in the league at the time, Dwayne Wade. And they also did bring in another maybe top 15 player in Chris Bosh. Now, the thing is, those guys were willing to take pay cuts to play with LeBron James. It wasn't to play for Miami. They wanted to play with LeBron because no one was taking a pay cut before that to come down to Miami to play with Shaq and Dwayne Wade. But they were happy to do that for LeBron James. Guys like your Mike Millers, your Ray Allens, they're happy to take a little bit of a haircut to play with this man because they know how good he is at the game of basketball. He makes everyone better. It's not just about LeBron getting his. He's going to get his because he's dominant, but he's going to share the wealth. He's going to give you the game-winning shot. He doesn't need all the glory. He's just the one that wants to win the game. He's going to be competitive. He's going to do what it takes to win, and he's going to do it, and you're going to have fun while you're doing it. You're not going to worry about some jerk punching you in the face at training. The floor is yours.
We should clear up that punch in the face.
He punched Steve Kerr in the face.
Yeah, didn't you hear what Steve Kerr was talking about in the locker room before that?
Don't care.
Didn't you hear that?
No.
He goes, I bet you Michael Jordan couldn't punch me in the face. He actually said that. He said, I bet you Michael Jordan couldn't. And Jordan caught wind of that. Yeah. And he goes, well, I'm competitive. I'm going to win that.
Yeah.
Put money on himself and won and went and punched him in the face.
Oh, congratulations.
True story.
But facts don't matter.
Yeah, facts do not matter. Look, as far as I see it, is LeBron copped out.
Yeah.
He absolutely copped out. He realised, okay, at a point that he couldn't get past Boston. No, he couldn't get past Orlando. A stacked team. They had Dwight Howard and Jameer Nielsen. He couldn't even get past them. He actually gave up. See, Jordan actually butted his head against Detroit Pistons for 3 years in a row before he got through them.
And
team
he
effort.
Couldn't get through them until Scotty didn't have a headache?
He actually, I think the year that they got through, I think...
Scotty didn't have a headache that year.
Was he? Yeah, right.
The year before, when Scotty had a headache, they couldn't beat him. So he went up against Detroit and couldn't beat him.
No, but it is a team game.
Yep.
It is a team game, and Jordan brought the best out in Scotty. And after they said, Scotty, stop being a pussy and play against Dennis Rodman like a dude.
Yeah.
And that was a problem because Scottie Pippen is a pussy. Let's face it, man. He bitches out against everyone, man.
Big rod, though.
He's got a massive cock. Otherwise, he is a bit of a sissy.
Okay.
So, look, even like during their title runs, Scotty always had something wrong with him. He had a back injury. He had obviously a nose injury. What the hell was going on with that?
Yeah, that was a very, very peculiar nose. If you want to look up Scottie Pippen, it's a very flat. It caused a very nasal voice.
Yeah. He tried to bring in he tried to keep the flat top going for a little while, but...
Oh, no, I've never get mad at anyone for rocking a high top fade.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think he went too long, though.
Yeah, he may have gone a couple of years too long.
He went too long.
But the thing is his defense that really got Jordan over the line. You've brought it up in a previous chat we've had about, that was what got the Bulls over the line against the Lakers in the first year. Admittedly, it was a very aging Lakers team, but they switched Scotty
onto Magic.
Not Michael.
Well, Michael
to defend Magic.
Michael was on him first. He got in foul trouble a couple times.
Oh, because he couldn't guard the bigger man, the stronger man. So they put your quote unquote pussy.
He caught HIV of Magic in the post.
Come on now. I know facts don't matter, but we'll not have Magic slander. My good man.
So he got. So he basically what happened is he got in foul trouble. So Scotty is a bigger guy, and that's just common sense. It was. I think what happened is they got billed it as a Jordan Magic series. Jordan defended Magic
and got in foul trouble.
Because
he couldn't handle the stronger guy.
That's right. But funnily enough, Jordan was switched to Vladi.
Yeah, right.
Which was interesting.
Vladi was like the softest player. He's like the sort of the godfather of introducing the flop into the NBA.
Right.
So let's not question the strength and toughness of one Vladi.
But he went on to 7-footer. Look, Scotty's defense is awesome. Jordan has won Defensive Player of the Year.
But he just couldn't guard a bigger, stronger man. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Well, winning Defensive Player of the Year is no... I mean, remember when LeBron won it?
Because the thing is, you don't need to win Defensive Player of the Year because LeBron is versatile. That's the reason why we go LeBron first, because he can legitimately guard 1 through 4. He can, like I said, a couple of years ago when he got stitched up for one of his rightful MVPs because they wanted to give it to the flashy young punk from the Bulls, Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
So what happened in the playoffs? In the fourth quarter of 3 straight games, LeBron said, put me on D Rose. So he defended Derrick Rose in the fourth quarter. Now, facts don't matter, but Derrick Rose scored, maybe 3 or 4 points a quarter, shooting at like 30% because he had LeBron guard him. So LeBron could guard guys down at the 1. He can guard shooting guards. He can guard anyone on the wing. And he's also strong enough because he's a machine, folks. He can guard anyone in the post. I see you screwing up your face.
That's all bullshit.
It's not bullshit.
Because, all right, first of all, Derrick Rose is not a point guard. Okay, he plays in point guard. Yeah. It's like Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook's not.
But he's a very athletic. He's short and athletic. He could, and as a guy that's 6'9" and 120 kilos, chasing around his little 6'1", and this is super athletic Derrick Rose. This is pre-knee injury Derrick Rose, who was, as much as I hate Derrick Rose, he was one of the most athletic players I've ever seen.
One-dimensional though.
Yeah,
he's got no jump shot. So LeBron knew.
You're talking like Magic Johnson had a jump shot, man. He had that horrible set shot, looked like a netballer, but. He would able to back down Jordan and get him into foul trouble. Whereas these other guys, you can't back down LeBron James. You can't, just speed around him because he'll chase down and block you because he is that good.
Steph Curry blew past him several times this finals in just gone. He can't defend it. Look, he can.
He's 33 years old, Steve.
Jordan was winning scoring titles, MVPs,
not defensive playing of the years at 33.
No,
this is after he took 18 months off because he wanted to play baseball, otherwise known as suspension for gambling.
His dad got shot dead in a car.
I'm going to say something pretty spicy here.
I have a feeling I know what you're going to say here. Think about it.
I don't know. I don't know if anyone's listening, but...
before do we have a lawyer? I have a feeling I know what you're going to say.
If we have a lawyer present, that'd be nice, but the rumour, and this is a rumour, allegedly, and that's the one thing I have learned, Steve, the word allegedly will save you from a shit ton of legal problems. But allegedly, Jordan's father was shot over a gambling debt.
He said it. Oh, I can't believe it. I was like, don't say it, man. You should. Wish we filmed this. I was like, don't do it, man. Don't do it.
No, but the thing is, it needs to be out there. I don't like everyone defending the character of Michael Jordan. We build him up as this legend, mythical creature that's, and he was built up by the Nike ads and advertising campaigns, by the Gatorade. I want to be like Mike. No, you don't want to be like Mike. You want to have Mike's talent, but you do not want to be Michael Jordan. He's a jerk. He got his father killed.
Oh my God, I don't even know what to say. How can we continue this conversation after Jordan?
After dropping facts, and we all know facts don't matter.
Oh, wow, did I mention 10 scoring times? I don't know where to go from here. This is crazy.
I may have overstepped the line there. I'm sorry. I do apologise to all
I know Jordan's
7 of our
listening
listeners.
to this.
Yeah. Sorry, Mike. I've stepped over the line.
Wow, I think at the bottom line is this. I think people forgotten how good Jordan is.
I think the bottom line is I'm more competitive than you, and I would really drop any sort of information to win an argument.
That came out of nowhere, folks. I mean, that's it. I mean, I saw it in his eye. I was like, don't do it, man. I had a feeling he was going to say it.
You know what it is? And it's the young people call it. It's that Mamba mentality.
Wow.
It's that Kobe Bryant mindset.
Wow.
This is the thing.
So misguided.
Like you just said,
mentality.
people do forget how good Jordan is. Like, we remember because we grew up watching it. Like I said, I hated Michael Jordan. I was always cheering for the Knicks to beat them. Steve's got the Ultimate Jordan Collection DVD, and he lent it to me, and I got to watch it. And it's got pretty much the game deciding game from all 6 of the finals that Jordan won. Now, I know he wins 6 for 6, people. Yet when I watch the games back, knowing that the Bulls win, I am cheering for the other team. I just hate the man that much. And some of them are really close games too. And it really hurts me at the end when I know that Michael wins.
Oh, no.
Because growing up, I just hated him. Like, I see him in person and I remember how good he is. But to me, like I said, that's why it does cover a very dark time in my life. The fact that I just hated watching this guy. It was the guy that I hated the most, who always won. Now I get to see LeBron James. And yes, I get that more balanced life. Yes, he's going to win. Yes, he's going to be amazing. But he's also going to lose. But when he loses, he always comes back stronger. He doesn't retire.
He joins stronger teams. Is that what you meant to say?
He doesn't join stronger teams. That's the nature of the game these days, Steve. There's super teams everywhere. Like, he would have won again this year had Kevin Durant not been as a Scottie Pippen, I'll put it that way, and joined an all-star team. And like, his team, like, he is that good. Like, alone, you would put him in there. Like I said, that's why I think he's the number 1 pick, because he can drive a team of nobodies or a super team and get them to places they've never been before. Like I said, Michael is great. He is a great basketballer, but he's not the number 1 pick because he needs a team around him more so than LeBron does.
Well, let me tell you, I'm picking Jordan 1 on my team.
Yeah.
I'm picking Jordan, and you're picking LeBron.
How did I know you were going to bet on Michael Jordan?
Do you want to talk about the rest of the team, or we're just going to... We'll leave that for another time. It's up to you, man. I can fill up my team right now, probably.
No, we'll leave. Like I said, we'll do our teams another time. Because, I mean, we'll never... Sorry, I know you guys like a little bit of conflict resolution. You're not going to get us.
No.
Because we're never going to agree on this one. Like, how you can pick Michael Jordan to start your team, but that's okay. Like, one day we'll pick our starting 5s in the NBA, and we'll go from there. But for now, like, we'll end on a happy note. Hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll switch topic. Yeah. We're going to go to our top 3, guys. This is another top 3. We like to do our lists, and as you know, I'm a bit of a list bully. But we're going to go to a mythical time where we are living on a deserted island. Now, on this deserted island, we've got an iPod. Now, on the iPod, which is, for some reason, the battery doesn't run out.
It's fully charged.
It's fully charged.
Yes.
And it's going to last us a lifetime. Now, you're only allowed to have the music of 3 artists on there. Now, this is anything they've sung on or played instrument on, anything they've produced or anything they've featured on. But you've only got 3 artists to choose from, and you're going to listen to their music forever. Okay. Steve, give me your top 3.
Okay.
And I'm just going to interrupt right now. If you fucking say Bone Thugs and Harmony, I am going to storm out of this room.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm not picking Bone Thugs and Harmony. All right, let's have a look. The first one. Are we going 1 for 1, or you just want me to reel out 3?
You go your top 3.
All right. Number 1 is actually this band. Actually, once again, has brought me and Speed together. Crazy, actually. We did not expect to see each other, but
we're just drawn to each other.
We are drawn to each other. Is Guns N' Roses.
GNR
bumped into Speed on Adelaide Oval.
Yep.
Guns N' Roses. That was amazing. That was that was probably the best concert I've ever been to.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
for me.
You've not been to many.
I haven't been to many concerts.
Okay,
I'm not much of a
explains a lot.
concert goer, but it was more for me. It was sort of like I saw Guns N' Roses when they came over in 2007 or something, and it was Axl Rose and the rest of them. But like as in the
scumbag.
yeah,
crew,
the fill-ins. But this time we actually got to. I mean, Slash is, as far as I'm concerned.
Slash is amazing. Now, side note, people, if you do message us enough on the Facebook, I do have a photo of Steve from said concert. That's quite embarrassing. If we get, let's say 50 likes,
Really?
if we get up to like 200 likes on the page, I will post said photo.
I want to. Where's that lawyer? I want that lawyer back. All right, so Guns N' Roses number 1. Number 2, huge hip hop head. I'm going to say Tupac.
Tupac?
Yeah. I would say Bone Thugs, but he's got his fist clenched.
I'll walk out. I'll fucking do it.
He'll walk out.
I've dropped bigger bombs already today.
Tupac's. I would have loved to know had he been the longevity. Would he have kept coming out with really good music? I know he come out with the stuff like pre-recorded
And
on new
changes
tracks
and,
and all that kind of stuff, and that was really cool. But I would love to know if he would have went on with it.
I
But
honestly think he would have been one of those guys that would have stayed socially conscious with the times.
Yeah.
And a lot of turmoil has happened since
yes.
his passing and stuff like that. And I just don't see him sitting quietly.
no.
So he probably would have had something to say about it. But number 3, Steve.
Number 3 is this came up the other day when we were chatting. I'm going to say I'm a huge fan of more recently, just in the last couple of years, when they came to Adelaide and then I went after and chased after all their stuff was the Rolling Stones. The Stones. And the reason I say Stones is I know you're a bit of a Beatles guy.
I am a big Beatles guy.
And the Beatles suck. I was going to say compared to the Stones, but I'm just going to generally say they suck. They got a couple of good tracks, but they're kind of like the Poison to Stones is a Gunners. They're like actually probably not Def Leppard. Def Leppard's probably a bit too hard for them. Yeah, they were like the
Poison.
Yeah, Poison. Yeah. They'll probably if they could, they would have been the glam band of the '60s. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Not a fan. I don't know. I think they a couple of the slow songs was nice, but Stones was real. They're a bit more raw. Beatles. Ugh. Anyway, hand it over. Go on, Lisbeth. Oh, I think he's going to walk out now, actually. Don't worry about the Bone Thugs. He's walking out from the Beatles.
You motherfucker.
Let's hear it.
I'll be honest, I am speechless, folks. The disrespect shown by Steve, because you know what, number 1 on my list, and I think he knew this, is going to be the Beatles. The Beatles are the inspiration for so many bands. They are the ones that set the trends. The concept album. Like just being out there with their sounds, trying new things. They started off as as what I consider the crazy rock band at the time, even though they all wore suits.
Wow.
With their little bob haircuts and stuff. They created Beatlemania, and they created that whole thing of just being the biggest band in the world. They were the first biggest band in the world, the first ones that went truly international, and they had they've got hundreds of songs, like 1 or 2 good songs. Oh, Steve, you have no idea how close you are to a backhander. I don't even need to continue with this down this road because down Abbey Road, because the Beatles are just what that was. I can't avoid a pun. You've just thrown.
You know
me
what was
off.
huge at one point as well was the Macarena. That was huge as well. But that doesn't define Laws Hobbles or whatever the band was called, does it?
Steve, you say Macarena one more time, I'll take all your fronts out. I'm so thrown off my game here. Like, I've thrown Steen off a few times, and this is the first time I've been truly speechless, probably in my life. But the Beatles are coming number 1. You're a dick. Beatles number 1, and then number 2, I'm going to go, you really knocked me through. I'm sorry. Honestly, guys, I'm frazzled. He's really put me on my game. Number 2, Beatles, fuck you. Number 2 is going to be Kanye West.
Okay.
Now, I love my Kanye. I've explained it in a previous episode. The man's a genius. And the beauty of, like I said, the reason why we classify this as artist, anything they've touched, because he produced a lot of great tracks from Steve's favourite, the overrated Jay-Z, all the way through to a whole bunch of hip hop artists and that sort of stuff. Talib Kweli, like Common. He's touched a lot of music, not even the stuff that he's done himself. So, for his creating beats and that sort of stuff and, featuring on other songs, he's got a catalogue himself of like 7 albums long. So, and I love 90% of them.
Did you hear the Kanye Bone Thugs song that time?
Oh, Steve.
Steve,
you are so close to stroke 3. You started the show poorly and you're ending it quite poorly. And number 3 is going to be Pharrell Williams. Steve, you're fucking shitting me today. I'm legitimately ropeable right now, guys. You've ruined this whole last segment. You've ruined the intro, and now you've ruined the last segment. Pharrell Williams, guys, for number 3. If you guys wanted to ever see Steve win an argument, he's finally won it because I am so far off my game. But to get back to Pharrell Williams, he's a superstar. Once again, I love all the NERD stuff. In Search Of is one of the few albums I can listen to start to finish without skipping a track. And that's how I've always judged albums. If you can listen to an album start to finish without skipping a track, that's a great album. And
100%.
NERD have 2 of those albums. And then everything that Pharrell's touched ever since then. I mean, admittedly, I think we all got pretty sick of Happy.
Yeah, that's right.
But it was great when it first came out. But just the ability to make a great beat, and with his little high-pitched voice on top of a track too, is just outstanding. So that's going to be my top 3. I'm going to go through the Beatles, greatest band of all time, you fuckhead. Kanye and Pharrell. Steve's going with Guns N' Roses purely because he got to hang out with me at the concert. Tupac and the Rolling Stones, guys. That's our show for this week. I'm so far off my game. I am ruined. This slander will not. There's going to be fights. You might hear glass breaking in the background because we are going to fight after this show, guys. First, for Steve Burrows signing off.
Yeah, what up?
You really fucked this show, Steve.
I'm out of here.
He's out of here. Go to the bench, Steve. I'm Speaker One, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to AuscastNetwork.com for details.